Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paladins Masters Qualifiers. My name is Randy. He's Hi-Rez, pretty here, and we're ready to get into set 3 of a best of 3 in this 4-set day 1 of the second week of the Paladins Masters Qualifiers. Hell yeah.
He's prepared. I don't even have my mic down.
That's right. Hey, so we're ready to go here. We just had some very interesting and fun moments. But, you know, if you want to have your own fun moments in Paladins, you can go ahead and pick up the Colossal Chest right now, which is on sale, 33%. It will give you basically a bunch of different cosmetics to outfit your characters in-game and have you looking sweet, sexy, sassy, frassy, like Lassie. I don't know. We don't have any dog skins yet, but
you won't make you hit your King Bomb ultimates, but you'll look good trying.
You'll look good trying, exactly. I know we don't have, that's not everyone's wish list, but I know it's some people specifically who really want to make sure that, you know, they keep appearances even when things go wrong. And now, of course, if you do want to just raise those levels a little higher, maybe want to get competitive a little bit faster, you got to get some more XP for your champions, play today as well, because we've got double XP coming at you. That's right. That's not just 2 XP. It's not +2. It's double what you would normally be making, so you're getting double the amount of time, half the time that you would actually be playing to get those champions ranked up and into ranked.
That's a good point. You bring up, you got to get those 12 champions to Mastery 4 before you hit that ranked mark. And as well, you get the Radiant Chest every time you level up.
Yeah.
So those will be coming at you twice as fast.
Yeah, I want to get my Inara up until level 4, actually, because I wanted to see her against another Inara.
My Inara is level 8.
Man, that's pretty cool, man.
I saw a level 21 Tyra the other day.
Hey, man. And now I bet legendaries haven't hurt that because Mercy Kill, and it's been pretty exciting. A lot of people loving that. She got a buff to her lifesteal legendary as well. So, you know, haven't seen her yet, but she's definitely on the rise.
Joseph's hasn't played yet.
Yeah, and I think tomorrow we may see a little bit of Tyra when we do get to that Jaguar Falls map. Now, Timbermill, Jaguar Falls, speaking of it, being banned out. Game 1 will be on Stone Keep, so we'll just travel back in time to where we were a few minutes ago, where we saw some hot plays coming out from all the teams there, all the players.
D69 are pretty strong on this map, but Wolves, they did just play it. They're all warmed up. They are ready to go, and Wolves ban away Jaguar Falls. They saw what Interlopers got done to them by D69 on that map, so they said, no, we don't want any part of that.
D69 will take Makoa, flex to Bugzy, flex to eLvenpath. And you can also pick up a Torvald after this if they don't grab it. We see them highly prioritize the Torvald. They don't prioritize the Barrack, I think, as much as we see, you know, Burrito do. I think second pick, if you are D69, I think they could easily take the Barrack, but I think they really actually like this Makoa and this Torvald maybe a little bit more.
Elvin likes Torvald, and then Bugzy plays Barrack, and he also plays Makoa, except for when they're both on the comp, obviously. But yeah, typically, when you have that main guy that's playing both of them, you'll take one or the other. So still, that's an early buck coming out for D69, but it is so strong on this map. Flankers do very well for themselves on this map. Torvald as well pairs so well with and against. The only other real lockdown as well, so they're feeling free to go into that. That's basically what happened then, right? Interlopers, they took Makoa. D69 got Makoa and Torvald. And then they were probably going to go into the buck in the next phase of their draft, but Interlopers stole it away, so they don't want to have that happen this time around.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Wolves, this is what I would have, I think, probably thought, right? Take away, I don't think you have to take the Drogos. You could have, but it feels like Bugsy's either going to play the Torvald or the Makoa. He's going to play probably the Makoa. I don't think he would play a Drogos in this lineup because I don't really know who else would flex onto the Makoa and the Torvald. So I don't think the Drogos was coming. I like the pickup. It felt like something janky was happening here, and this could be now Bugzy.
That's a good pick.
On this Kinessa.
You're right.
Gerrah on the Ying, so
the reason
maybe Shipa.
D69 can go this way in the draft safely, and no, there's not going to be a lot of flankers, because Wolves, they have one frontliner, and they have the one pseudo support in Grok. So Wolves either need to go into another frontliner in the Ruckus, or maybe the Fernando, or go into a main healer, but they're going to say they're going to respect it. They're going to take the flank.
It's the right counter pick.
At this point,
you have to.
You goofed up a little bit in the draft, I think, by letting it get that bad. So kind of cut your losses there. Take the right call and try and shut down this Kinessa. We've seen what Kinessa does to teams when Bugsy's got free reign on it.
Oh, and we know that cannot happen. Otherwise, you might as well just resign and move on to the next game. And I'm all about never stop gaming. But if I say that, then you know it is a lost cause with the free firing Kinessa right now with the way she is running Eagle Eye or even steady aim. Bounce House Buck will be PERDO's selection here for the legendary. Shipa still yet to decide. Steady aim as well for bugzy. It looks like it will be Pluck for Shipa. Field Study for eLvenpath. More damage on the bubble shield and lifelike for Ying. Keeping it simple with gerrah.
4-5 for sleeppy's Barrack. Recurve for Mutustiina's Shaolin. NTBees has selected Maelstrom for his Grok. Respa takes Fusillade for Drogos. Simsiloo taking the Wormhole for Eevee. 3 Wreckers, 2 Cauterizes. No offensive items for D69 as they are kind of playing more defensively here. Their characters are just kind of made for that. Immediately into the backline, the Makoa heads. Misses the hook, but still, the immediate aggression into the backline from D69. Trading out kills thus far.
Sleepy goes down, though. That's Barrack. That's part of their front line. That's really their only front line. So that was a crucial prioritization by D69. Very smart play to just get rid of him. And though the Grok is pressuring out Shipa on this Makoa, and Makoa is just, you know, only one of basically, I think, 2 front lines that are available. Though the Torvald does die and leaves it relatively even, they still have not been able to deal with this Kinessa, and that is the big key here.
Bugzy not having a ton of impact just yet. Fire Spit is actually going to get canceled out because he got hooked from the back. Respa goes down. Mutustiina finds PERDO. There's the protection onto Shipa. He's waddling his way towards the point. Wants to get this Barrack Turkin out just first. Hooks him in. Puts a lot of damage into him, and eLvenpath is there for the cleanup. Well
done. NTBees finds the bonus damage. Doesn't find the second shot, but now Eevee, Simsiloo, who has done at least a decent job of making sure the Kinessa is not free firing, is now able to fire off, trying to finish off Shipa, who stayed alive so long in this fight, Nick. It's been actually relatively surprising. D69, with that stabilization, that tanky lineup, have been able to surpass anything Wolves have thrown at them and go ahead and capture this first objective.
They do, and that was fairly slow, right? Nobody took that very convincingly. Wolves, I think, got up to about 55% on that as well. Bugzy waiting for anyone to stick their head out of position here. We'll have those long lines of sights as he rounds the corner, but right now it's a little bit risky for him to poke his head out.
And he just loves these angles right here. He just wants to find them, wants to live inside the angle and just understand it, to breathe it, to source code it. He's just all about getting his perfect spot and making sure the Eevee also is zoned out. That's the key, right? These angles, so important for his offense, but also for the defense, the vision that he's going to get on the map when Eevee comes out. He's trying to trade against Shaolin, but the Impale Arrow is going to take him out. Bugzy will go down thanks to Mutustiina, who is equally a very dangerous sniper who could 2-shot.
Absolutely. He does have the Haven, so the Slanted did have to come out to confirm that. Respa falling very low, or Barrack, excuse me, falling very low again. Minute 20 remaining on the payload push here. We got the Heat Haze available. Ultimate starting to come up for D69. Buckwild, Ancient Rage, Headhunter, Hyper Beam, all on the table. Wolves have 4 to respond with of their own. Ice Storm being the furthest off the mark is not what you want to see typically from your Eevee player.
Really good stuff by Respa, just gets away. Here's the Headhunter from Kinessa and decides to just not stay in there. What Kinessa's doing is forcing this game to be fought in different channels, and whether that's going to benefit the side of D69 or Wolves remains to be seen, because a lot of these smaller chokes could go the way of Torvald, but they also could kind of go the way of Shaolin and Grok if you got them close quarters with Planet, and Maelstrom Shock Pulse is just coming in. Of course, Drogos with the Fire Spits on the clumped up targets as well. He's going to go down though. Mutustiina takes 1, takes 2 as Bugzy looking for the 3rd. Waits too long to get the perfect shot and lets Ghost Walk allow the Grok to escape, but Bugzy's already done his deed. Kinessa 2 for 0-ing right now, and allowing D69 to have this pressure.
Shock pulsing, gonna put some good pressure onto Bugzy as well, bouncing off of eLvenpath. eLvenpath's got nowhere to go. There's the Goomba stomp from PERDO, 2 for 2 so far. Nobody taking a clean win in this fight just yet. PERDO actually looking to find his way out, but gets caught by the slow from Gromp. Bugzy very poked out as well. Mutustiina gonna withdraw aggressively. Doesn't have the impale to send Bugzy into the wall, and they're gonna have to trade out damage and head away. Still has the Dragon Punch here. Respa could have liked to go into this to shut down one of the 2 tanks from D69.
This push could have started for D69 if Mutustiina had gone down there. So the fact that she did, and the fact that one Fusillade rocket got hit on the Bugzy, the second one did as well. Respa is going to take advantage of most likely the aim down sights that was going down for the Kinessa in the scope. Dis wasn't able to dodge the rocket in time, trying to get the kill, and she will go down 1-1 here. Much better performance from Wolves than against D69.
Yeah, Part of this, I think, is they didn't have a lot of wrecker pressure or even cauterize pressure. Not that they need a whole lot of it. They wanted to go for more of those defensive options. See, bugzy actually picks up the Haven. So what this tells us is that he's more afraid of Mutustiina's pressure, as well as the other members of Wolves that are direct base. So the Barrack, the Grok will also be mitigated by this. He's not afraid as much as from Simsiloo, who has basically picked up 2 flanking to kill bugzy, which I find interesting. Whereas we look at gerrah, who has picked up the blast shield, he's probably going to be under most threat from Drogoz, but I like the switch onto the blast shields nonetheless.
And, you know, Eevee running that wormhole, basically being able to get in and get out. But look at the Shipa using that shield with such effectiveness. He's done that, I'd say, 4 or at least 5 times in this fight, where he has gotten out with such low health after getting bursted down, and now finally goes down. The shield not up in time, and Simsiloo is able to go to the back line and start working. Great mid-air shot from Soar for Simsiloo. He's going to heal up a little bit with Flicker, heals back up again, and he's in the back line, gets one onto gerrah. This is all Simsiloo, but bugzy shuts him down with the headhunter potential, and there is Mutustiina. He doesn't find him. Actually curious because of the withdraw, and now Heat Haze is there saving his life.
The reload comes through Wolves, 51% and climbing on the point. The Heat Haze was really good for Mutustiina. Gets the jump on bugzy, gets the restore off, so he's going to heal up a little bit from that transporter, but now he's still under pressure from Simsiloo. Goes in, tries to take him down, wormholing out. Bugzy stays alive somehow.
Just the pressure. He knows the best way to fight this is through offense, right? Putting the pressure on the Eevee, forcing the wormhole early. Bugzy gets a kill on the Sleepy, double kill onto Mutustiina. Oh, but Simsiloo's there to shut down. The sniper Kinessa will fall, and so will eLvenpath. This could be Wolves taking the lead over D69. In fact, they will. 2-1 off of huge plays by Respa, Simsiloo and the squad to get ahead of D69.
Links forward on to gerrah, but no more aggression. Shipa's in a bad spot as well. He's going to go down. So Wolves will be able to cover some good ground here off the momentum, winning that team fight. See the ultimates starting to come up for Wolves as well. The Ice Storm's ready to go. Dome Shield's only 8% off. Tempest about 15, so a couple more shock pulses. But Grok on a 16 streak. NTBees having an electrifying performance on the Shaman.
The Winter Storm from Eevee is available. It's going to cripple, do a lot of AoE damage to anyone she's off to. It could be a clutch kill to just make sure she finishes off the Kinessa without her being able to do anything about it. But will she use it for a team-oriented purpose? Sleepy does go down, so that's the frontliner for Wolves out of the fight. And looks like Simsiloo will just back off, relent to some of this pressure. But he spots one he can shoot at. Still trying to find a few, just can't get much off of this right now. Finds bugzy though, wormhole's away.
Yeah, bugzy had a really good angle there, finds both of the kills as well. Gets the protection bubble, the field study damage amp, gonna help him out a lot. Simsiloo playing these angles really well on Eevee. You can see him blinking over. That saves him so much time running around, as well as he's one of the few characters in Paladins that can actually abuse this angle and, you know, not be seen as he cuts off, you know, what is largely the middle third of the map.
And he's being so cautious as well because you have the Makoa, right? Who, if he does hook him, it could be enough burst potential so that he can't get out in time. Maybe forces the ice block and then the wormhole is done. Now he spots potentially PERDO coming in from the left flank. Takes a little bit of damage. He's only at 1100 now, 1400 back for him. But with the pressure still coming from both sides, he's not able to find any respite yet.
Unable to crack this defense, PERDO finding a clutch pickup as well. Bugzy repositioning up onto the high ground here. Simsiloo blinks in,
nice
finds a shot. Caught out without a transporter now. Bugzy's gonna need to be careful. Only 1100 HP, so he can survive one more shot from Eevee, but not much more than that. Transporter back up onto the high ground, heals himself back up. Headhunter is here if he needs it.
He's gotta be careful, stop looking right. But he knows that Eevee isn't there quite yet. PERDO not jumping in, very cautious as well. Maybe waiting up for one of his charges to get ready. He is. He now has a charge. He activates recovery just to heal up a little bit faster because he's on constant pressure. The out-of-combat heal won't help. Wants to see if Eevee will be chasing him. Not yet. And now he's in the back line. Hits a tree, though, so doesn't get the stomp damage off. But it doesn't matter. PERDO will find a kill, and now we can snowball this. Double kill for PERDO. Looking for Eevee. She's just going to soar away. They will let this go. Wolves Esports most likely will allow the overtime to tick down.
There's the field study as well. Damage jam, 716 coming through the buck. Misses that shot. 2-2, D69 tie it up. Ultimates, though, all equal intents and purposes. All 10 ultimates for the players will be up. Record 2 starting to come online, so this Torvald is going to start dying quicker and quicker. Not a lot of cauterized pressure in terms of the back line, the flankers. It's all on Sleepy and NTB, so they're going to have to be able to put these onto the targets like bugzy if they want to, you know, have that easy lockdown. PERDO as well. Healing is such a big part of what allows Buck to succeed. And if he's running around in the back line, you know, without a lot of cauterized pressure on him, if he's sitting on Mutustiina, if he's looking for Respa, neither of those guys have cauterized, so he's going to be able to get full value out of his recovery.
Yeah, and that's a big part, as you mentioned, of Buck's survivability. He's got Bounce House, which allows him that extra leap, but he's got to be a little more careful now due to the changes, just some increased cooldown to that. But he will still have those 2 charges when it comes down to it. He's got Buck Wild as well, so just getting in and getting out, and then instead of jumping back in, waiting for those charges to get back. So less aggressive, but still giving Bugzy the space he wants, finding the areas and the corridors to fire through. Gets a shot, no headshot though. Steady aim, not meant to do that, Nick. Wants to get the consistent, fully charged ones.
One bear turret around the corner there, but D69 in total control right now. Sitting 2-2, spots out the aggression from the Eevee. Gonna miss the shot, actually get healed up from the clone. eLvenpath does find Mutustiina in the backline. Wolves have got to find some answer, but 3 kills for nothing. D69, they're gonna take payload number 3.
Just anticipates the wormhole. Bugsy's gotten closer and closer to doing this as well. Nice headshot, pops over the shield to say hello to Daddy Barrack, and it is not a friendly one at that. He's just gonna scope out and just use some movement speed, throw the transporter, excuse me, the mine, the oppressor mine, to just slow down Mutustiina and force him out of that planet early. And continue this push for D69 here. 2 minutes, and they're about to push this into a game-winning scenario if they finish this capture.
Big damage from Shipa around the right flank as well. Drogos is in a bad spot. Didn't see the Makoa coming. Doesn't even need the hook. Saves it for the bear.
It's going to be a triple.
Ammo. Finds it. Double kill there. Unofficial 3 kill in the backline. Getting healed up. Ying ultimate is popped. You can see those crystal prisms spread out all over the map. Healing D69, keeping them healthy. Still has Ancient Rage. And 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining.
They just did not see this Makoa coming through, and that's the danger. 13 streak, he's gonna find one more. Shipa's unstoppable right now. Dragon's Fury is out, but it does not hit the turtle who's been causing all the issues. And with PERDO and everyone still around, this Ice Storm is but a trend. It will not survive, especially with the Ancient Rage and Makoa. Do they dare to challenge him, Nick? I don't know. Barrack looks like he's trying to, and in fact, they get the last word in this one. 1 minute still left, though, for D69.
I think that's very wise of Shipa not to use his ultimates there. He didn't have all of his teammates with him. But aside from that fact, they still have 1 minute remaining. You know, D69, they don't have to force it right now. They don't have to take a risky fight. They can keep slow playing this, maybe get a couple of picks off the back of the dredge anchor, and then force their way in and close the game.
Great play by eLvenpath. Always finding a teammate, never by himself, always able to 2v1, and that's where field study Torvald needs to be when he's up there, providing the extra damage and providing the 2,000 extra shields. And he's doing it perfectly. I love the decisions there. Ying Clone gonna keep everyone really healthy. He's not a great spot to fight, but they don't have a choice. The payload's been pushed this far. The turrets go down slowly, and that's just a D69 victory. Again, 2 losses in a row by Wolves on Stone Keep.
Rock, the sole healer. Barrack, the sole frontliner for Wolves. Kind of a little bit of a weird draft from them. Getting out drafted, I think, a little bit just slightly. But there at the end, you saw Mutustiina was poked out so low on the Shaolin, and the heals didn't come out from NTBees. They were way too late. Mutustiina goes down. That's a majority of their team fight damage, and Wolves just fall apart from the inside.
Yeah, Wolves, you know, actually out-drafted there. I think it's pretty clear to say, because they just weren't able to contend with either the double front line, they weren't able to contend with the actual healing after selecting kind of a healer there, and then forced to aggress on the Kinessa or not. And either way, I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if Bugzy, if you take a Yang in that scenario, if you take a Maldama in that scenario, then there's almost no pressure you can apply to Bugzy. It's all on Mutustiina pretty much. And unfortunately, that just wouldn't have been any better for this lineup for them.
Absolutely not a great matchup at all. Bugzy getting a lot of damage done. Did like the adjustment we saw come late in the draft onto the Eevee, despite only having one frontliner and not an ideal solo healer in the Grok. You see 27,000. To the 97,000, so gerrah able to get a lot more sustain out, as well as there wasn't a ton of cauterized pressure, only on sleeppyy and only on NTBees. Of course, a lot of people into Wrecker. I don't know that I would have gone the triple Wrecker. I think Simsiloo on his Eevee done well for himself, cauterizing Kinessa. She was running restore as well, so she's getting 30 to 40% of her HP back every time Bugzy transports, and it makes that matchup that much more difficult for the Eevee.
And that was really their key there. Get Bugzy down. Bugzy had way too much uptime in that fight. But Ice Mines will be the selection here. They will at least have time, unless this is a super snowball by D69. Wolves will be able to make some adjustments if things don't go their way at the start. due to the nature of how hard it is to actually push on this map and how many games end up in the 3-3 scenario with a final capture point deciding it all.
And Wolves they've just been pulling out some weird drafts today, and Interlopers have been pulling off what I think was very, very good drafts against District 69, and still were, you know, losing pretty handily, only able to escape with the win on the Ice Mine. So Wolves are going to have to step it up in this part of the game if they want to have a chance here against D69.
And it's been done before, so can't say that it won't happen again. But D69 having fallen into the trap, you almost would feel like they're prepared for it. Wolves here need to almost pull something that D69 pulled to them, which was kind of catch them in a rock and a hard place. Force a strong decision one way that will benefit your team with their potential last picks. But Wolves now able to counter at the very end, selecting the Barrack. And if memory does serve me, probably, yeah, Drogo's here.
D69, they can take the Torvald. That's what they've been loving to take thus far. Pairs so well. Works with them, bugzy on the Makoa, Elven, probably to be on the Torvald. Shaolin still on the table, and Wolves have been very heavily prioritizing this pick. D69, they took it in their loss against Interlopers on this map in particular, but it will be the Grok selected, probably alongside the Torvald. Wolves haven't shown a great propensity to pick up the Torvald in the past. They are going to take it regardless.
So Grok, Makoa, Torvald. It's a very solid front line, and they've got the damage. You know they're looking for a Ying or a Maldamba here. I think D69 is safe to say they're not going to counter the Grok as a solo healing. So you could take one, but it doesn't do much because they could probably just work with the other. So right now, what are you really counterpicking? You're counterpicking the potential super front line, or you're basically giving yourself the ability to contend with that front line. And now you're also choosing the healer that you really want, and maybe you think will be harder against what you're going to finally pick at the end.
I like it. The Maldamba, the Dread Serpent, is pretty effective on Ice Mines. There are a lot of tight corridors that teams have to come through. You can get a lot of coverage. D69, though, they do draft the Victor. Now, Wolves, they have space to pull a flanker out, and I think they might. I think they need to.
I think Simsiloo did a decent job on the Eevee. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't go back there. The Androxus could come out from Mutustiina, but he likes to play the Ruckus, typically. The Shaolin is a good pick for the push potential, but again, I am a little worried about how they're going to get to the Victor. I think Shaolin and Victor are going to very much have the same situation, but Victor with his grenade can just burst the point a little bit faster.
Yeah, if they're fighting each other, I think that matchup goes to Shaolin.
I agree.
Just to the nature, because Victor has to stay exposed the entire time he wants to do his damage, whereas Mutustiina can peek 1,000 damage every shot, as well as peek, you know, surprise Impaler Arrow, and immediately take down PERDO. Will be running Gunnery on his Victor. eLvenpath will have Field Study for his Torvald. Bugzy running Pluck on Makoa. Shipa is taking the Maelstrom for Grok. Gerrah will select Catalyst as his legendary for Pip.
Oh, Mutustiina will run Recurve for Shaolin. 15% extra attack speed. Ripen Gourd, the slow for sleeppyy. Respa counting a lot on those direct shots with Fusillade, the legendary. Flux Generator for Ruckus for his Repulsor Field, and Barricade. Barrack doubling down here. It's a dry bear double with Simsiloo going for that legendary just to give him some more uptime. Cauterizes, Chronos picked up, but Master Riding taken by eLvenpath, and Chronos picked up by sleeppyy, so he will not have the option to Master Riding at any point in this game, which could come back to haunt him a little bit here.
Oh, strange positioning. There's a nice stun into the Impale, but just so tanky is this Torvald. He's going to be able to escape with his life. That's a big time combo that's now down. PERDO should have free reign.
Look at that burst, man. And now he's dead. I don't know how he could survive here with eLvenpath there. Oh my God, Simsiloo gets the kill. I can't believe it. He stays alive. No, finally, Gerrah picks him apart. And D69 are able to move forward here. Mutustiina looking to peek, but PERDO has had his way with this Victor thus far. Great shots by Respa, but really just cannot find the kills.
Shield holding for Makoa, but forced off the point. Like you mentioned, can't really believe it, but eLvenpath does go down there. Wolves bully their way back onto the point. 54% for D69, but Wolves are quickly closing that lead. There comes the emo, just so we can spot. He can see those bubbles. He can see the members of D69. Just that third-person perspective while you're emoting gives you some tactical input.
I actually like his back off there. He sees the Grok and says, I actually don't want to fight against the Grok and the Torvald. I'd rather, if a Victor was coming, maybe I'd take that, but I just don't think I can contend there. There's a Ripen Gourd trying to get the slow, and he's trying to heal up his teammate. Simsiloo goes right back to full, but sleeppy's the one's in trouble. They've got to keep this healer alive. D69 know that, and they're going to take him down. Just two-man bumping right onto the top of this buddy, and he's going to get the shield pressure coming through. Barrage not mitigated by any of the shield damage, or the shield shielding, so to speak. And PERDO, 86 health, will escape with his life.
Look at bugzy as well. Shipa's low HP. PERDO is low HP. D69 just barely come out on top of it. Wolves, you know, if that goes barely anymore their way, they take those kills, they take his first payload, but it will be D69. And I like the call actually from PERDO. He got his one shell of his barrage off, but then actually canceled it and retains 40% of his ultimate charge. So he's already back to 64%, and that's something that can help you keep the momentum high. And you don't have to commit all 3 of those shells if you don't feel like it's necessary. After you pop 2, you can cancel it and retain a little bit of that charge to kind of keep that snowball rolling. Yeah,
it's very actually good as a bait. You know, thinking about that, the psychological impact. Everyone's going to run away. They hear the barrage. They're going to spread out. You're going to get some effect from the enemy team, most likely. Might even get some cooldowns. And then you don't really waste your whole ult. So you can come back and maybe have the advantage from that momentum. Lead you into a kill, a couple kills, maybe an extended push. Minute and 46 left on the clock. Grenade goes into the room. Barrage is available. Gonna reload the clip, get the extra damage, and boy, oh boy, PERDO is just free firing here in the back line. Great kill from Respa on the eLvenpath, but he is not gonna survive the deadly damage from PERDO. That Victor is just free firing here with this gunnery legendary.
That's the big point. You want to try and capitalize on the Drogo's nice grenade, and now has the angle on the Ruckus, who gets absolutely pincered. Taken down, and Barracks, he's in a rough spot as well. He's got this Victor just firing down on him. Not much health left. He's gonna try and hold up here and buy as much time as possible, but D69, they've got 2 members ignoring him, just continuing to push the payload, continuing to find these kills. 1 minute and 7 remaining. All that stands between them and conversion is a Ruckus.
Mutustiina with a great pickup, though, on to Shipa, and that is big. Dread Serpent's here. Can they get bugzy? I think this will tell whether they defend here. Gerrah slays NTBees, though, and that is huge. In eLvenpath with bugzy doing what they need to do, and still the dome shield is enough with Mutustiina's pressure in the backline staying alive to push D69 off for now. 40 seconds left on the clock for this team. And in order to get back and push this, the last couple of inches they've got remaining, they're going to need to regroup and not take too much poke on that exit.
And even if Wolves hold the defense here, D69 got a couple of key ultimates out. They got the Dread Serpent, the Dragon Punch, and the Dome Shield. So only 2 ultimates remain, the Heat Haze and the Hexafire. They have the pressure to push it in, as D69 have all 5 of their ultimates, but they cannot afford to lose bugzy this early on.
14 seconds left. It comes down to this. D69 want to make this 2-0. That's so big on Ice Mines in terms of their potential to finish this game off quickly and get that victory in this set, which they so much want. Mutustiina versus Gerrah in the back line decides to leave it alone and just go fire under the big tanks, and he's going to get 1. He's going to get 2 thanks to NTBees and Respa following suit. He'll find the 3rd himself, and he's looking for the 4th to get a double kill, finish things off, push it into overtime, and secure the defense by Wolves.
Mutustiina flicks vertically. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. All his flick shots come out from low to high. Just an interesting note there. You can see kind of the stylistic nuances of some players. Most players flick from left to right,
left
or
to
right to left,
yeah,
horizontally, but all of those flick shots actually came from low to high. So this is actually one of my favorite guys to watch. I think he is just so mechanically good, and you know, obviously a little weird too. He's got a couple of ticks. Some guys play on high sensitivity, some guys play on low resolution. This guy, it's the low to high flick.
Wow, well, following along with that, didn't even notice. All I noticed was the double kills, the triple kills that kept following whenever we spectate him in game, showcasing how strong of a Shaolin, how strong of a damage carry he can be on whether it's a Ruckus, whether it's a Androxus, or whether it's here, the Desert Wind. Trying to figure out how he can be successful for his team. Trying to burn down, with record 2, the shield of Makoa. He will get that done, but he's got to avoid the hook. I think it missed there from bugzy. So he's got a little bit of time to try and find a clutch kill, and that's it. That's what he needed. That's exactly what they needed in this fight. They've already got it. 36% is what they paid the price for, though, for that kill. 45 now, and though they finished it off, they could be in an even worse position here.
Zoning Hexafire comes out. Bugzy slain with the Dragon Punch as well. Mutustiina moving in after finding eLvenpath. The Heat Haze is going to be good. PERDO all by himself in the back of his mind. 75% though on the point for District 69. Wolves, they take it back, but now they got to hold.
They need to zone here. I don't see an aggressive zone. You can't just sit on your laurels, guys. 45% is not going to do it. They've got 75%. If they win this fight at all, or only one of you zones, like Respa, who just did a half zone there, didn't even make it down. He is in trouble. Can he follow up on the kill? That's the key. Will the Dread Serpent get the value? It will. Tempest comes out. You get an ultimate, and you still kill Makoa. PERDO slays NTBees, though, but will eLvenpath keep everyone alive? He's my next purpose to finish off in this fight. Mutustiina has to stay alive if they want a chance at this. Can't get hit by gerrah, who is aggressing on him. They know it. He gets one, but does he see gerrah? He gets two. He gets gerrah. Mutustiina with a double, trying to find the triple here. Can Shipa find him out, or will he get this?
Oh, he gets ganked by bugzy from the back line here. 65% of the Ancient Rays. The hook is good as well. Doesn't even need the follow-up damage. Respa will go down, but there are still 2 members from Wolves here. 99% for District 69. Just trying to contest, just trying to keep this overtime alive. 75% in climax.
They got it.
PERDO
They got it.
has no choice. There's a hop on there, and he will lose his life as well.
Why is PERDO doing that? You know you're going to die there, bro. It's a Barrack and a Ruckus free firing on you. I mean, it wasn't even like anyone was right behind him. Bugzy was a long way away from respawning, so a little curious there.
Yeah, maybe they saw the overtime ticking down and thought it was overtime for them, and
okay.
Maybe, but it wasn't. That wasn't the case. D69, in fact, had the 99 overtime, and it was their overtime. Wolves had to find the response to keep that going and keep that payload point alive.
And it was very important too for I think Mutustiina in that fight to find the double kill onto PERDO and onto gerrah. Actually, maybe on the Shipa and gerrah. I think he might have found it there. No, he found it on PERDO earlier, and then followed up on the pip, which has been huge. Another interesting part about this map in this game is that we don't see gerrah play pip very often.
No, we don't.
And he's done actually a pretty good job of it. It's been a threat for sure. Maybe hasn't been a standout, but
yeah,
it's just interesting to see.
A lot of these support players, that's the case, right? Bird can play everything
Sure.
in the game. Spunky, we're seeing, can now play everything in the game. A guy that used to just play support. I wouldn't be surprised if gerrah is really good at a lot of things outside of the support class.
And of course, the big thing here is Mutustiina. Can he continue to carry this? This Shaolin was their counter pick, right? This was the last pick they want. They said we can do what we need to do in this fight with this champion. We don't need anything else. This is our biggest priority here, given what they've got on their table. So it is really up to him and his performance to make sure that Wolves Esports get the most out of their money. And a great hook by bugzy will mean that Simsiloo goes down, and that's going to hurt this. If I'm Wolves right now, I almost just back off for a second.
Yeah, I think they're doing that. Mutustiina is being very careful about moving up. You can see him emoting just for the vision around the corner, but the hook from downtown.
Wow.
Silenced out as well, so no withdrawal to keep himself alive. Mutustiina goes down. That buys D69 another 20 to 30 seconds.
Nice shot, though. They did get bugzy, but they lose Respa in the process.
Trading 1-for-1 here is beautiful for D69.
Yeah, I think if Respa would have stayed alive there, that would have been great, but because they get the kill, does not go in the way of Wolves. And NTBees so low, man. I mean, 638 health. He's got to get out of this fight right now. PERDO is coming, eLvenpath's coming. This is as sure as dead for Ruckus, and they've just staggered too much. They've wasted too much time here, Wolves.
And you look at the distance from the respawn, right? So bugzy runs in there, trades in 1-for-1. He gets back to that fight way before Respa. You see them duking it out. Again, D69 will take 1-for-1 for trades at this stage of the game all day long. They're going to tie things up 2-2 here. Ultimates are relatively tied up here. All 5 for D69.
Wow.
Wolves are just shy on their 5th ultimate, the Dread Serpent. Just barely off the mark, but they do go into the resiliences here, so the Hyper Beam not going to be as effective. The slow from Grok not going to be as effective, and the big one here, the Evil Mojo ultimate from Pip, not going to be as effective.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, resilience, it counters so much of that. And with Torvald in the meta, this is an item that has to come into the meta with it. Otherwise, you're playing into their hands. And that is exactly what D69 wants you to do. Won't do anything against the Makoa hook, though. Really no way to counter Makoa with just an item, which is part of what makes him so strong.
Haven and pray.
So consistent, exactly. You haven and pray. Damage reduction is the only thing you can hope for, but that hook is still going to be just as deadly. PERDO.
It's a lot of damage. That's 30k above the Shaolin. PERDO not being answered effectively right now.
Shaolin, though, gets a great answer. 1,000 damage plus onto him, but Mutustiina falls. But so does bugzy. Can't say which way this will lead for both teams, as Respa in the backline needs to find an answer to the remainders on the side of D69. PERDO firing. He's got barrage available.
Someone's got to put some pressure on this guy. Whether it's Barrack, whether it's Drogos, it's got to be somebody. You just cannot be allowed to sit up here and free fire. Respa does find a key pickup onto gerrah, forcing eLvenpath out, who doesn't have any shield remaining. Bugzy has returned to this fight. Wolves are in lead on the point, 33%. and climbing. Heat Haze available for Mutustiina, who's been so huge for them, but a lot of ultimates here. This is going to be a big team fight from District 69.
You just need Mutustiina. Oh my God, what an implant. What a planet. He gets the impaler arrow, turns it into a planet, gets the damage. Heat Haze popping through, trying to make plays as Mutustiina, and he's got his sights set on PERDO. And it's unfortunate for D69 because their sight has failed him. They have not dealt with the man who could change it all for Wolves Esports. 3-2 goes the score now, thanks to Mutustiina and the squad of Wolves.
Really, really good Dread Serpent as well to set up some of that planted. One of those kills wouldn't have happened. That's what happens when you strike first. That's what I love, right? Because the defense really isn't awarded in that scenario. The counterplay, it just couldn't happen quick enough. The ultimates came out first from Wolves. They struck first, they struck hard, and they found value. D69 couldn't do anything about it. Great
airborne fire spits by Respa as well, and used the booster to stay away. Grok is pursuing him. He doesn't have much to go on the right side. Does he know Grok is around?
Really go, wow, okay.
Wow, hit all of them. All right. That's the increased accuracy from Salvo as well, but there's damage. Respa's got to keep backing up. Again, stop fighting right now. Like, stop.
Chill.
Just relax and wait as a group and go in there. You're not going to basically, that poke battle is what D69 want, so that when you fight them finally, you're half health.
Yeah, they've got PERDO who's pumping out 1 million damage. Bugzy is pressuring Mutustiina though, sitting at about half health. Both of them.
This is what you want.
Looks like it's going to happen. Heat Haze is almost ready and available again for Mutustiina. Now they're pushing forward. They're starting to get eLvenpath lower and lower. There's a lot of damage coming out onto his shield. Barik is very healthy, surging around this corner.
Now they could be in trouble. D69 could be in serious trouble here if NTBees stays alive. He is. Oh, and that is not good for them. PERDO falls, Shipa falls, eLvenpath is down, only gerrah remains. And this is a huge dagger here. The Evil Mojo's ready. If they can finish him off, so they don't have that, oh my God, healing potion will save his life. Not enough to finish him there. But look at this Dragon Punch. They know this is time. The shell spin will not get him out. Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh boy, almost tipped him away.
That was nice though. We got the double shell spin as if you go off of the ledge there, you can get it just right. gerrah gets picked up as well. Mutustiina and Wolves.
This could be game.
Looking to drive this one home. This could be the game.
Dread
30
Serpent
seconds remain here. Dread Serpent remains. A lot in the tank. D69 have to find something. The Dread Serpent was a little bit early. There's the Hyper Beam. eLvenpath finds the stabilization. There's the Evil Mojo as well. The emergency brake has been pulled for D69.
Oh, the Hexafire's what did it. It got 2 there. NTBees huge damage. And Mutustiina free firing up top. He decides to drop down. Gets PERDO out of the fight. Planet comes through. What a shield by Bugzy and what a shield by eLvenpath to help him out and give him the protection. Mutustiina will fall. eLvenpath will pick up 2, and they will defend successfully with that Dread Serpent not getting as much value as they wanted. That could have been the difference there. All these ultimates spent for Wolves.
Wolves have the advantage here as they have been capturing the more payloads. They're going to have more credits going into this fight. You can see them start going into the luxury items, the Rejuvenate 2s. Going to be able to pump through more healing if you're sleepy, as well as 90% CC reduction for a lot of these members of Wolves. And they have a couple of key ultimates as well. They have the Dome Shield from Barik, and they are nearly there on the Dragon Punch, which is going to be very, very key, as it will slay eLvenpath or Bugzy. District 69 dropped everything. They pulled the emergency brake. They dropped every single ultimate to stay in this game.
And they needed to. It was so close. 2 of them falling there. Only a clutch shell shield from Bugzy and a clutch protection from eLvenpath, keeping that front line alive, allowing the push not to happen. But look at this. They get there super early, and oh my gosh, this bear could just be melted here. Rocket Boots! What's going to save his life? That was a fast Rocket Boots. Might actually be running Accelerator Field to give him the extra movement speed through this shield in order to stay there. And Rocket Boots saves Barrick's life, so no kills yet. 9% for D69 as the point fight begins.
Bugzy's the first to fall, trades out his life for it, however. Takes an ultimate back to base, notably, so the ultimate charges are going to be more equalized off the back of this. Dome Shield is still a factor in this fight. PERDO positioned very aggressively, has the barrage available, just going to like to sprint out of the fight, gets impaled. Thankfully doesn't get stunned. He will hang on to his life for now.
Mutustiina's here. He's been the game changer so much in these point fights. There's the Dragon's Fury coming out from Jogos as well. You can hear it. He finds Shipa, which is not the target he wanted. He needs to stay alive, but he won't. Ancient Rage popped by Bugzy, and that is important for, actually, excuse me, wasn't popped. Just looked CC immune there for a moment. Bugzy's still very, very low. Mutustiina's going to finish him off, and that is it. Wolves Esports coming through here. Mutustiina in the Heat Haze, trying to make more plays.
Huge plays. Finds Bugzy as well. The Heat Haze was colossal. Beautiful impel. Goes into pan and immediately withdraws goes out. Nice Dread Serpent just to set it up in D69. No.
Wow.
They've been bested once again on Ice Mines.
D69 need to get their Ice Mines
Gotta get that Ice Mines game right.
together. You gotta
start banning that out.
That Ice Mines game right, man. I mean, there's a reason it's banned. There's a reason. And it's because teams where you say these guys don't have the type of knowledge, the type of experience that we have. And though they may admittedly be wrong, because there's a lot of veterans on this Wolves team, although a new name, we just can't be...
It's weird, right? Because we say that. We say the veterans don't like to play it because it gives the underdogs, you know, that 3-3 scenario. Even though it was D69 that were like, oh my god, we need this 3-3 scenario. We're losing the payload literally every round.
Exactly. So it ended up working out in their favor, but maybe there was just a lot of upward momentum that Simsiloo, NTBees, Respa, sleeppyy, and Mutustiina were able to capitalize on. 118,000 damage, not keeping up with PERDO's 144. But I think Mutustiina there was the man who, in my opinion, just made things happen here.
144K.
Yikes.
Whooping D69's healing. They had the Shipa on the Grok, and they had the Pip from Gerrah, but just combining for about 59,000 healing is nowhere near the sustain that was coming through from Wolves Esports, and that was a big factor. You see all that damage, that 144,000 damage from PERDO, may as well not have even happened.
sleeppyy's a good healer, man. He definitely knows how to heal. On this Moldamba, on this Yang.
On point.
They were. The only one that was questionable for me was the very last one, and maybe it wasn't even the Dread Serpent. He got a lot of value. It just, there was not a lot of follow-up at that exact time. And the kills came out a little bit late off the Hexafire, but they did come. So can't even fault him for that one or the team. It's tied 1-1 here in set 3. Wolves versus D69. One more set for the rest of the day, but this one coming to a conclusion on Serpent Beach. And the champion draft will be ready in just a moment for us to head to and see exactly where these teams will best each other, if so, or if they'll draw even in this draft.
Got to be careful of the buck on this map especially. We've seen what PERDO can do with it. We've seen interlopers try to draft their way around it, but it just wasn't the case. The Makoa, it's a good start for D69, and it sets up beautifully, as a lot of that lockdown is what you try to look for into Buck. They take the Torvald, though, which is the other big source of lockdown, and an anti-burst potential to try and counter out that Buck. So it's a good start for Wolves, finally taking a Torvald away from D69.
I don't mind it. I really don't mind this pickup. Going with the Barrack and the Torvald, they give up, you know, obviously they have to take the healer in one of their last spots. Ideally, you end up taking that in your spot before or spot last. It just depends on how you want to go, what you're prioritizing.
If your first pick, you can take it last, but typically we're seeing the second pick teams take it before going into their last phase of the drafting, so they save that spot for the counter pick. But we haven't seen the Bugzy Drogos at all today, and that's a factor that just hasn't weighed in yet, and that's a big weight to throw around. We see, you know, Wolves are starting to draft around this Buck a little bit.
I don't know, man.
But that just creates space, I think, for the Drogos to dominate. But Mutustiina's and Droxus, if they can get it, if they go for the double flank, at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. Probably put Mutustiina back on the Shaolin, as he had a lights-out game on Ice Mines.
He really did. Buck coming out as well, and they're going with the Buck Torvald. But to me, this seems a little bit more cookie-cutter as to what have D69 used on this map that's been successful versus what I feel really should have gone there, right? And they fall into the trap of, we know a Moldamba's coming. You have to pick Moldamba here. If you don't, you're surprising everyone, but we know that. And so D69 know that. So they can pick their whole lineup easy because they know there's not going to be a counter to that. There's no one who's really going to do, maybe make Androxus have a bad day. Shaolin already did that role. But the key is if you take, I think for them, they really cared more about getting the Shaolin and the Buck, taking that away from PERDO, and just getting Mutustiina back on that comfort pick. And said, okay, that's fine. We're not going to surprise you. We're just going to pick Moldamba last.
Absolutely, but you just can't count out Bugzy when he gets his Drogos. Darkstalker for PERDO's Androxus, which I think is a pretty decent matchup, both against Shaolin and against Buck, as he can get up in the air and avoid the heroic leap damage. Maelstrom or Shipa's Grok. Lifelike for Gerrah's Ying, going to keep up in the healing charts this time around for sure. eLvenpath takes Pluck from Makoa and Worm Jets. So speed Drogos for Bugzy's Drogos.
sleeppyy running Ripen Gourd here. 40% slow in the area of the Gourd. Recurve actually. Oh, Wakono's chosen. looking to actually get some more damage on that ult, the damage amp. Something we haven't seen here in the competitive for a while. Used to be base on his kit. Fortify for Barrack is going to be run by NTBees. Respa, Bounce House, Buck, and Simsiloo. Field, Study, Torvald. As we head to the game here, scoreboard will drop as you take a look at the last bit of items here. eLvenpath, he wants to find a hook, and he's going to be able to not do so thanks to a great shield, anticipating everything coming out from the Barrack. He gets hooked now. They're going to try to collapse, but they didn't have immediate burst, and that means there's a little bit of time for some healing to come through. Torvald will not die yet, and eLvenpath actually, he is the most one in danger here. Wow. Incredible stuff. I cannot believe that happened.
Huge play from eLvenpath to stay alive there. Beautiful use of that hook cooldown at a clutch moment as well. There comes the salvo into the fire spit. The fire spit will connect. None of the salvo does, however. The speed allows bugzy to be so aggressive, and the fire spit coming out in a whiff, but just look at the mobility. This isn't what we're used to seeing out of bugzy. But he's showing he knows how to maneuver this character.
And with Shaolin as well, you need to be hard to hit, because Shaolin in this map could impale you into a lot of surfaces and then hit that planet to follow up. Mutustiina already gets 1,000 damage off on him there, but Burrito feeling confident, excuse me, D69 feeling confident in their play and ability thus far. 1-0 on the point. They've captured things up, got 220 to push, and continue to try and get this snowball in. Respa's falling, and he's hurting his team here. They've got to stay alive and stabilize.
The shots just feel automatic, and that's it's just the favor shift, right? The star was PERDO on the Buck on this map, and quickly teams are starting to pick up the Buck on this map. Not only because it's good, but they want to get PERDO off of it. But then he just goes to the Androxus and he rips you apart just as hard. You allow bugzy to get a good matchup on his Drogos, and he's just flying freely. There's no real good answer on Wolves for this character, given his mobility.
And that's my problem too. Respa dies 2 times in a row, jumps in, and to me it didn't seem like, yo, Respa's the craziest Buck we've ever seen here. It just felt like, okay, this is good. We've seen this happen with D69. It's almost like we're taking it away, like you mentioned. But you can't do that with the champion draft. You can do that with the champion draft and ban, but you can't do that with the draft. You need to be able to play what you had. You need to make it that much more effective, and it's not even close to as effective here, even though they go with a similar combo.
Jeez.
Torvald, Buck, that has been proven to be successful for D69. 2-0 is the score, and D69 are just flying away with this one.
You make a great point. You got to stick to, without bans, you got to stick to your strategy, what you can do well. And you know, if their strategy is just picking you apart, then their strategy is just picking you apart. But if you try to steal their characters away and don't have the same type of impact, then you just cripple yourself. You give yourself no chance heading into the game. But a lot of ultimates came out there right at the end. Well, not a lot, but we saw the Accursed Arm from PERDO, as well as the Heat Haze. Notable stuff still on the board is the Dragon Punch Tempest, Illusory Rift. Dread Serpent actually did just come up. Wolves getting their first round of ultimates. D69 looking to charge up their second round.
Just easy damage, get him mounted away. Bugzy with the Worm Jets. Drogo's able to do that. And that Dragon Punch, despite going for speed, still going to hit just as hard. Hits Simsiloo, gets the Torvald. Going to hit the Bugzy Fire Spit. And he's going to connect with that Rocket Direct Impact. We'll make sure that he cleans up 2 in this fight. That's going to be 3, it seems like. Respa, where are you going, buddy? Shipa takes him down. And again, falling short of the task for Buck on this map. 81% for D69, man.
Popped his ultimate with like no health. I don't know if he took all that damage mid-flight, but he was one shot when he landed near Bugzy and was absolutely punished for it. PERDO finds Simsiloo in the backline. D69 with the chokehold of a zone out here, not letting Wolves even come 20 feet from their spawn without feeling the heat.
I'm not even sure what Buck has been doing. I haven't seen the synergy between him and Torvald as well. That's one of the things that, you know, you see eLvenpath have so well with his teammates. And a lot of times, yeah, sure, it's the champion, but a lot of times it's the players. It's the synergy. Somebody asked me a question the other day when I was streaming and said, you know, Raina, what do you think is more important? Actual team synergy or tactics? And to me, it was very interesting because you can always, you know, have great tactics. You can have better tactics than someone. It could win you a game even. But I think it's very much like what wins games with offense and what wins championships with defense. Team synergy wins you sets. It's the ability to adapt even when someone brings out a tactic that may seem strong or be strong in the meta. And it allows you to overcome that, which D69, even though they lose their kind of clutch picks here on Serpent Beach, just say, we don't care. We'll do it with anybody else.
That's the thing. Their pool of tactics is so big. It's not a viable strategy to try and take strategies away from D69. Their pool is too deep. You gotta stick to what you know. A beautiful Dragon Punch immediately shutting it down. 3 kill for bugzy on the Drogos. D69, they close the set in style.
So no difference there. Both of the bottom teams have fallen to the 2 top teams, which we've seen and, you know, could probably expect if you just consider that's the exact ranking that they have, and that's the right ranking. So far, these 2 teams kind of cementing their place, and it will be up to Wolves and Interlopers to probably play against each other here. But we do have one more matchup coming up, and that should be Burrito Interlopers to see how they're going to be able to battle against one another.
That's right. Now, Burrito have the chance to take their 3rd set and go up. D69 are currently 4-0 in all their sets, so I'm not sure. We haven't worked out the clinching scenarios just yet, but they're in a good spot to making this top 2 land. I think they can. I think, you know, with the 4-0 here today, even if they lose to, you know, nobody's going to be able to come roaring back besides Burrito and take that 4 wins away from him. So I think they will end up in the top 2 spot. Burrito still have yet to get there. They're looking for their 3rd win here today. And Interlopers and Wolves, they might want to start, you know, it's not over for them if they don't make it here.
That's right. Absolutely. It is not over yet. And these are just the stats running through that game. Not incredible performances by hardly anybody on the side of Wolves. And the synergy wasn't there. Tactics weren't really there as well. So they will come back, go to that back to the drawing board, see if they can come back another weekend and make things happen yet again. After some great performances, I believe in them. I just know that, you know, they were playing against the top dog. It's going to be tough either way you slice it.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, we got one more set coming up for you today. Make sure you're playing your games live, getting your double XP, getting your colossal chests at a delicious discount. We'll be back for the last set of the day after the break.